Hey guys, and we're back. It's your boy Ocey Phillips, and this one is kind of impromptu. A lot of people have been talking about marketplaces. Shout out to my boy Karen Rose, who dropped a recent post on there being 48 at the last count, 48 marketplaces existing in Trinidad and Tobago, right? And we're looking at it from the standpoint of just online marketplaces. I'm pretty sure few of those 48 aren't fully operational or some may have closed down in recent times. But that's just a drastic amount of number for marketplaces here in such a small market as Trinidad. So I've decided to cook up something, and here is where I would tell people what you should look for as a merchant going onto a marketplace. Now, of course, there's different types of marketplaces, there's different types of marketplace models, and you should look out for what is best suited for the type of business or your type of product that you have. But most importantly, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of guidance on what to look for when going onto a marketplace as a merchant, right? So we're going to dive into it one time. Take a couple steps back. What is an online marketplace platform? This definition says online marketplace platforms bring together sellers and customers under a mobile app or website. And an online marketplace helps sellers and their products generate revenue for themselves and the marketplace. You come on, you sell, you make money, the marketplace also makes money, right? Means that marketplaces has different models, right? Could be business to business, right? Like what some Alibaba and some of those other main marketplaces are. They sell huge amongst the other businesses. And then there's business to consumer, which is Amazon. You could go on and buy that. And then there are consumer to consumer ones, or more relatively here locally, pin.tt has that. You could go online and you can sell back something that you have, and somebody meets you on that platform and buys it individually, whether it's secondhand stuff, thrift stuff, stuff like that, right? Pinterest and all of those other things are those types of marketplaces also peer to peer, right? So just to educate you, you have to understand the type of marketplace that you're going on based on the type of products and the type of value that you want to deliver to your customers, right? Like I said, how many marketplaces exist? Last count 48. Some are way better than others. A lot of them claiming to be number one. And we all know that everybody can't be number one, right? So, first of all, we're going to jump into things like marketplace SEO. Now, I don't want this to be too long winded, but I have to explain the importance of what we call marketplace SEO. So, most marketplaces, in my opinion, have not engaged in any SEO. Therefore, they're not able to drive traffic, right? Number one problem with marketplaces are a chicken and egg solution. Do you have enough customers in certain segments that complement each other? And do you have the buyers for that? People list on Amazon because Amazon could show you data that on a monthly basis they have hundreds of millions of transactions. They can tell you how much hundreds of millions of people view and how much of millions of people view certain categories. So they can tell you, hey, if you're selling dishwashing liquid, they could tell you 1 million people a week come on our site searching for dishwashing liquid, right? They could give you that data. I'm pretty sure you're not able to get that data for most, if not all, the marketplaces that exist here, right? So as a merchant, you need to look for traffic. Ask these marketplaces, what traffic are you getting? What traffic are you getting in my niche? If I'm selling hair care products, how many people have hair care products, right? How many people come onto the hair care product section and leave bounce rate, mean that they went into the section, they're not pleased, and they leave within 3 seconds, they leave within 5 seconds, right? Ask about keywords for your top products. Because again, the purpose, one of the purposes for going on a marketplace is that you're going there where there's existing traffic and there's an existing revenue stream, right? In my other video where I broke down Parla Caribbean, we're speaking about people going on to a marketplace or people going on to Google and searching for something, but the marketplace isn't showing the product. So what you want is that when you go onto a marketplace, that you're actually in the right place, especially for those paid subscription marketplaces. If you're listing for free, you could still ask these questions, but it's extremely, very much more important for the people that are subscribing and for the marketplaces that has a subscription. It means that you have to pay for your money. You have to get value for your money. Don't just go on a marketplace and pay a subscription and you're just sitting there because it comes like you're paying rental space. You're paying for digital rent and nobody's visiting your space. Some marketplaces I see have 400, 800, 500 different different fees, right? But if you pay that $500 and a month pass and you have not made that 500, then you might as well best go to Karen Rose or go to someone else and get your own e-commerce setup done, right? Ask about your reports and your analytics for your store. You want to know, here's what, how much people came to my store, even though you don't get sales. Are you able to see how much people come to your store, where they came from, the audience insights, where they traverse from? Did they come from referrals? Did they come from direct search? Did they come from social media? Where did they come from? Or did they come from a different section? Okay, if you're selling hair care products, did they come from a clothing section across their hair care products? These are the kind of questions and the type of data that you need to look at for. So ask about their traffic on site and ask about their traffic for your product category. Are you falling into home and garden? Are you falling into electronics? Ask about the traffic for that. How much people come to the marketplace, so that type of thing, so that you know now you can validate your payment or your subscription fee. Because again, this marketplace should come and be able to tell you, for your money, this is the value that we're bringing to you. Don't just pay to get listed because you don't understand what the market is. Reach out to somebody like Karen Rose, reach out to myself, ask us these questions, and let us know what's happening to you so that we can guide you here. We're looking at a strategy. A lot of people mix up strategies, digital strategy, digital marketing strategy. Here's where I break it down for marketplaces, right? And I say, from where I sit, there's no evidence of a digital strategy to target certain customers in a niche, like I spoke about before, and to grow the platform and to scale a business model. There are a lot of the 48 marketplaces here that don't understand the business model they're in, right? You need to look at that as a consumer or as a merchant. You need to also understand that even you can have your own existing e-commerce website, but you can list on a marketplace for value. So you can have your own marketplace, you could have your own website, and then you can also list on a Carib Shopper, because Carib Shopper then allows you to ship to an external market. Carib Shopper takes your goods and then they put it out into the US, North America, Canada, right? And those are the markets, right? So then you can say, well, all right, as part of my strategy, I can have my own website here, but then I could also list on Carib Shopper, and I also have an additional revenue stream on an exist or additional market that I could get my products to. So ask about business model, like I touched earlier. Is it B2B, B2C? Is it peer to peer? Know what that is. Know what people come into the marketplace for. Also ask about it. Is it listing? Are they just going to list your products? Like how pin.tt lists some products, which is like kind of like an online classifieds. You list your car for sale, you list this, and that marketplace provides a proxy for that, or provide a platform to just broker deals in between there? Or is it commission based, where you get a commission based on your sale, meaning that they advertise a market and they take a markup on your product? Or is it a subscription base, where you actually pay a subscription every month, but you look to get value for your subscription, right? Ask about the top niches. Ask about, hey, what are the top three categories that people buy on your platform? And then categories cascade into other things. If the top category for pin.tt is local cars, then you could afford to say, all right, cool, I'm selling car parts and accessories. That falls under the umbrella. And then you could then say, all right, cool, a lot of people come for cars. It's easier for me to now get in the space where I'm looking for car parts, right? Ask about content marketing. Ask about, how are you going to market, or are you going to only market certain categories? Or do you now have to pay to get additional ad space to seem top of the funnel, or prime position on the marketplace? So ask them, hey, how are you marketing? How are you going about marketing these products? And how you go about marketing each category? Are cars and car parts marketed together in bundle deals? If I sell car parts for Nissan, could I get ad spots on each other or every single Nissan car that sells? These are the type of questions that you have to ask these marketplaces to see if the value is worth you listing your products, right? Ask about product optimization. When you go onto a marketplace, is your product descriptions there? Is your product being indexed by a search engine? I went on to a different market. I went on to Parler Marketplace, and I copied a product description from a product that they had on the marketplace, went into Google, search it, and the product itself didn't show up. Pala Caribbean did not show up. So these are the type of things that you need to look at. Is your product optimized for people to look for? You're looking at SEO, like I spoke about before. Does that marketplace has better SEO to help your product be ranked and people find it faster? Otherwise, you might as well be better off doing your own Google business, setting up your own website, and ask about their digital marketing efforts, right? How much do they spend in marketing? How much do they spend in paid ads? If they spend in paid ads, how much do they spend in paid ads in my category, right? The category that I have things in, beauty, cosmetics. Are you spending how much in that? Like what are you doing in that niche that I'm in here? Because again, you want value for your money when you're going onto a platform, right? Payment value chain. I've noticed most marketplaces here have opted to use WePay or FAC. Some of them, of course, I don't think any of them figured out how to split payments and make the entire process seem seamless for both customers and merchant. Again, this ties into the business model. If you're listing, there's a different type of payment value chain for that. If you're a subscription, then there's a different type of payment value chain for that. But if you are commission based, then there's a different type of payment value chain for that. So listing may mean that you're free to list or you paid to get a premium spot on the listing. So they reserve the top 5 listing in each category and you can pay for that. Pin.tte, I think they can afford to do that based on the traffic that they have. We're looking at a commission-based model. You're looking at commission based on what they sell. I think they should have a splitter. Because again, from a marketplace standpoint, owner of a marketplace standpoint, you're not sure how long somebody could wait for that money to come. Amazon pays people probably twice a month or in the middle of the month, depending on where you are. Some other merchants in smaller markets, they want to get paid, but they want to receive their money now because that is what keeps the lights on now, right? Subscription basis might say, all right, you pay me to list on my platform, and I don't care what you make. But when the transaction comes through, then I remit the payments to you after 2 weeks. We don't know if people are able to wait for those 2 weeks. So these are the things that you need to ask. Ask about payments for buyers. What are the options for people who come in to buy? Do they have options? Do they need a credit card? Could they use a new Visa debit card? Right? Ask them, can they pay bank transfer? Then if they could pay bank transfer, then you run into what's called disintermediation. Then the transaction could happen off of the platform. Could people only pay via credit cards or could they pay via Visa debit? Right? Or do you have any other additional payment methods for people to buy? So ask about how easy it is for my customers to buy, but also ask how easy it is for me to get paid for listing or paid for my products through your platform. Ask about the checkout process. This is very key because again, some marketplaces want to capture people's information and the checkout process is hard. So it may not be that your product itself is bad. Your product may be good. They can't find you anywhere else because you don't have any other e-commerce platforms anywhere else. But the checkout process on that marketplace is so bad that it deters people from buying your product. And that is a hurdle that you now have to face that is outside of your control, which is even worse. If you're paying a subscription price to list on a platform and then the checkout process is hard, then you're paying that person to list on a platform and then they are now withholding your sales going forward, right? Ask about, do they have a strategy for retargeting and remarketing? Meaning, to the people that come to my store on your platform and they didn't complete a transaction, they didn't convert, what are they doing for you to retarget them? What are they doing for you to come and say, hey, you didn't buy this, are you still interested in this? Are you able to say, hey, you bought this, but people who bought this also bought these other 2 things, right? Ask about payment splitters. I'm pretty sure I know the answer for that, but payment splitters just means when somebody pays you one time, the transaction, then the money is split one time, and your remittance or your cash for whatever your percentage of the transaction is goes directly to your account, and then the marketplace gets their piece of it. This may not work here, but of course, still ask about it. And then ask about payment structures. When are you going to get paid? Are you going to get paid every second Saturday or every 15th of the month? At the end of the month, are you going to get paid? Are you going to get paid in TT dollars, TT, or any other currency for those who are listening outside of Trinidad and Tobago? how are you going to get paid? How are they going to remit it to you? How are you going to settle those things, right? And of course, this is just me touching a little bit on some of the things that I want people to start to ask and familiarize themselves about getting onto marketplaces. Logistics and fulfillment. I don't think much people, no platform has figured out the full value chain or the fulfillment aspect of it, right? A lot of people can get logistics done for local transactions, much less regional fulfillment, right? One of the people who I think focus on logistics a lot is Carib Shopper. Kudos to them. That's because they are going the other way. People are buying from Amazon and bringing it here. Carib Shopper wants local people here to list and people from outside buy, and then they fulfill the other way, right? So we can take them out of this. Parla Caribbean just launched. I see they have TT Post as a delivery provider on the platform. I have no faith in TT Post for whatever reason. O Deliver is okay. I've never personally used them, but I've heard a lot of good reviews. So I see they're moving in a good direction. So merchants should ask about delivery fees. If you have a product on your platform for 20 TT dollars, you need to ask, hey, what are the delivery fees? Are my delivery fees the same 20 TT dollars? So somebody comes to buy a $20 product, and at the end of the day, they're getting charged $20, 3.6% on top of that, or how much of a percent transaction fee on top of that, and then $20 for uh $20 for delivery. How would that look to your customers? Is that appealing? Right? Ask about reverse logistics. A lot of people do ask about this. Reverse logistics means that if somebody comes on and buy a product for you, they're not pleased, right? Do you have a return policy, or how does that person get back that product to you or to the marketplace for an exchange? Right? Ask that question, because you don't want to list something on a platform. Somebody in Rio Claro buys it. You're in Port of Spain, but you physically have to go back to Rio Claro to exchange a product, right? Ask about return policies. Are you able to list your own policies on your merchant site? Okay. Ask about delivery optimization. Again, because you're a merchant on a marketplace, you may not have control of that logistics value chain. You may not be able to decide when an order is going out or not, or when it will be delivered. So you don't want somebody who stays home from work or put off something to be done, and they're waiting home since 8:30 in the morning, and your delivery driver calls them 5:15 in the afternoon. How are they going to see when the delivery is coming? Remember, that's the last interaction somebody has with your brand. They don't care about a marketplace or anything. They are looking for what is called experience, because every customer thinks that they're the most important customer to you. Yeah? And then ask about merchant consolidation, meaning could you ship some of your products bundled with other people's products? Meaning, could you split delivery costs with somebody else? Is the platform saying all deliveries, if we have 20 deliveries for Port of Spain, let's take off $5 per each delivery, right? Consolidate all the packages, driver goes there, and it's optimized for one area, right? Ask these questions. It may not always be possible, but it gets people's minds going on on things that we should be asking and things that you should be getting, especially if you're a subscription marketplace, right? And again, this is also how I feel. Most marketplaces just want a high number of merchants without realizing that there's no demand for products or services, right? So a lot of marketplaces need to realize, and merchants also need to realize, am I just listing on a platform because it's probably popular, or because I see an ad, or because there's actually a demand for my product there, right? With so many options, with 40 something options here now, you as a merchant, you could afford to list on all the free ones, right? You can list on all, depends on if you have the time and the energy, right? But for those that you have to pay and subscribe, you also have to understand that, is this valuable for me, right? Because that same 400 or how much of 100, you could do a lot for yourself as a small or micro business out there, right? So let me just dive into this one. And this is a little bit on how to measure marketplace platform success, right? Now, this success will look different. You see, there's three categories there: customer metrics, transaction metrics, business metrics, right? And some of the metrics overlapped, right? Because as a merchant, you do want to ask how much daily active users that the people have. Do you have 100,000 daily active users? Right? And after that, you break it down under this daily active users. How much of them are active in my category, in my product category, in my home and garden, in my cosmetics, in my household items, in my garden items? How much of them are active? I sell in plants. How much of them are active looking for plants? If you do have that data, please, I think you should run. We're in 2022 and there's a lot of data out there, and these people need to understand that you're offering value to a merchant, but a merchant also has to see value, right? Ask about monthly active users, because daily active users could be on a good day. On Saturdays, a lot of people may search, but what about Monday to Friday? What about Sundays, right? Monthly active users give you a wider scope, right? And most of these I spoke about before. Ask about monthly active users in your category so you can gauge. Even though I'm paying 400 as a subscription here, I may have 20,000 monthly active users. So you're paying 100,000. No, sorry, 100,000. You're paying $100 TT, and you're saying, all right, for each $100 I pay a week to list on this platform, I have potentially 5,000 users here, and then you use that data to kind of go around, right? Bounce rate. You don't want people to just come and turn around. Bounce rate tells you a lot, not just about your own product, but just about how the marketplace looks at conversion and traffic that comes across it. You don't want to be a victim. You also don't want to be a paid victim on a marketplace where you're suffering for the sins of things that you didn't commit. Right? Time spent on platform, overall times, these may look at vanity metrics, but of course, there's some people who are going to browse platforms and there is some value to that. Right? Now we're looking at transaction metrics for merchants, right? Number of transactions per category. If you go to a marketplace, say, hey, in the last month or in the last 2 months or in the last 3 months, the last quarter, how many transactions you had in home and garden? How many people buy plants, right? Monthly recurring revenue. We're not in a market that a lot of people ask that. We're not in a market that a lot of people would even be honestly open to sharing this type of information. But monthly recurring revenue, they should be able to give you some part of it. You need to know that, hey, this marketplace is generating monetary value, right? Because when that generates transaction volume, it generates different types of volume. That monthly recurring revenue that they make ties to how much that they could spend back into marketing and things to boost you, especially if you're a paying customer, paying merchant, right? Customer to seller ratio, really important, because again, international standards have it differently. There's usually some markets are 18 to 1, meaning 18 buyers to one seller. Some markets are 6 to 1, some markets are 12 to 1, some markets are 10 to 1, right? You need to look at, hey, so you don't want to be so much on a marketplace or paying so much to go on a marketplace where it have 500 merchants and it only had 27 sellers, 27 customers. Why are you listing there? At least you're listing for some sort of visibility, right? And customer to seller ratio is different from active and monthly users, because customer to seller ratio could be different things. The marketplace may be able to lock people in for some customers or sellers, or people are coming and could buy as a guest and they don't have an account on the marketplace. You need to figure out how they determine what's a customer or a seller and how they determine monthly and active users, right? And ask them, hey, average basket value, especially for your niche. Hey, so everybody who buy in home and garden, like, what's the average basket value? Meaning the average transaction value in that space is 150 TT dollars. Okay, cool. Because again, if you're paying 500 as a list and the average basket value is 20 TT dollars, then you may, even if you still decide to list, then you have to say, wait, how much transactions I have to do to kind of make back that 500 subscription, and then got that 500 when you make it back should be a break even point on that market, on that platform, right? And then you could ask things like gross merchandise value, meaning the general value of the merchandise has been sold, whether it's at a wholesale price or retail price, right? Some wouldn't tell you that. The last two, I believe, are for general marketplaces, but I still put it there to sensitize people who are looking at this, who actually own a marketplace. And you're looking at customer acquisition cost. How much do you pay to acquire a merchant and a customer versus the customer lifetime value? So the marketplace spends 100 TT dollars, get a new merchant on, spend 50 TT dollars, get a new client on or customer on, that's 150 TT dollars, right? And the merchant doesn't sell and the customer only buys $5. It doesn't really make much sense for the actual marketplace either. But what the marketplace does directly affects the merchants. So that is why that type of information is there. And I want people to understand what they're kind of looking at here. Right? So pay attention to these metrics. Of course, these are not all the metrics. Just trying to keep it very short here. But we want to sensitize people into understanding what to look for and don't get caught in the marketplace mafia. Right? And I would end by saying this. Everybody wants to have the next Amazon when they heard about the amount of money Amazon made during the pandemic and stuff like that. Because between 2020 to 2022, where we're in now, I kid you not, 30 plus of these marketplaces have just popped up. And I've worked with one or two, and there's a reason for that. It's easy. A lot of them could just go online and buy a white labeled platform and in 2 weeks have it set up, right? Just brand it and have it set up. A lot of them aren't coming with a unique strategy. A lot of them aren't understanding the market, and a lot of them haven't understand merchants and the value that they should deliver. Right? People need to see that the backbone of Amazon is the logistics value chain, and Amazon has a search engine, meaning anytime somebody goes on to Google and search something, no matter where they are in the world, 8 or probably 9 out of 10 times something from Amazon shows up because it matches your search with a product that Amazon has on the platform. And marketplaces here haven't done that. Only one I've seen done that is Parler Caribbean, and they haven't even done it properly, right? So getting things done in the region isn't as straightforward as the US and Canada markets, especially with the tools that we have designed and available to us. So for those of you who want to take your marketplace to the next level, again, Karen Rose, myself, feel free to reach out to us. We kind of understand the place in a different way. But I want to just leave this as a guide to people who going onto the marketplace, because I'm kind of at a place where a lot of people come in with questions about, hey, what to do, and I haven't gotten value here and this and that. And I just want to give people that type of sensitization that these are the things that you can ask and these are the things that you should be looking for as a merchant before you spend your money on a platform or before you list on a platform. It's your boy Ocey. Thank you for listening, and I'm out.